This episode features a simplified retelling of a renowned literary work, The Alchemist. The original book presents a narrative that can be challenging for many learners. However, today's story is conveyed using exceptionally straightforward English, allowing you to relax, listen, and concurrently enhance your language proficiency. The narrative centers on a young man named Santiago, who earns his living as a shepherd and individual responsible for the care of sheep. Santiago embarks on journeys across the countryside with his flock, sleeping outdoors under the stars, engaging with literature, and cherishing the freedom his life affords him. Residing in Spain, he is characterized by his youth and an inquisitive nature, a penchant for exploration, and a desire to discover new locales. He communicates with his sheep, possessing an intimate understanding of them and finding solace in their company. Despite his contented existence, a deeper longing resides within Santiago's heart for greater experiences, for adventure and a broader understanding of the world. One evening, Santiago seeks shelter in a derelict church, its roof long gone, with a mature tree flourishing within its walls. He rests there, using his jacket as ground covering and a book as a makeshift pillow, with his sheep nestled around him. That night, Santiago experiences a vivid dream. In this dream, a child appears, taking his hand and leading him through a field. Abruptly, they find themselves transported to Egypt, standing near the pyramids. The child divulges the presence of a significant treasure at that location, and intends to reveal its precise whereabouts. However, Santiago awakens just before the child can utter the crucial details. He sits up, surveying his surroundings in the nocturnal stillness, his sheep still slumbering. The stars, as always, are overhead. He is struck by the profound realism of the dream and contemplates it recurrently, before drifting back to sleep, only to relive the identical dream. Once more, the child guides him toward the pyramids, reiterating the existence of a treasure. And once more, Santiago awakens prematurely. Upon waking in the morning, Santiago is consumed by curiosity. He ponders the recurrence of the dream, questioning its significance and whether it transcends mere fantasy. A few days later, he ventures into a nearby town, seeking out an elderly woman reputed to interpret dreams. Despite a degree of apprehension regarding her trustworthiness, his desire to comprehend the dream compels him to visit her humble abode. The woman listens attentively as Santiago recounts his dream in its entirety. The child, the pyramids, and the treasure. After a brief period of reflection, she offers a straightforward pronouncement. Santiago must journey to Egypt, specifically to the pyramids, for a treasure awaits him there. Santiago expresses astonishment, anticipating a request for payment. However, the woman states her desire for a portion of the treasure once it is found. Santiago remains uncertain whether to believe her but senses the dream's profound importance. He expresses his gratitude and departs. Later, while seeking to relax and read in the town square, an elderly gentleman seats himself beside Santiago. The gentleman initiates a conversation, initially causing Santiago some annoyance as he wishes to read. However, the old man's inquiries extend to Santiago's life, his sheep, and, significantly, his dreams. Santiago is taken aback by the breadth of the old man's knowledge. The gentleman identifies himself as a king and, despite Santiago's initial bewilderment, speaks with such kindness and conviction that Santiago begins to listen. The old man elaborates on the concept of dreams, referring to them as a personal legend, the life one truly desires, the purpose for which they are destined. He explains that while youthful aspirations are clear, many individuals abandon their dreams due to fear, seeking security instead, and consequently forget their true desires. The old man affirms that Santiago's dream of a treasure is not merely a dream but a message, urging him to pursue it and travel to Egypt. Santiago experiences a mixture of fear, contemplating his simple, safe life with his sheep, and excitement at the prospect of discovering the treasure's reality. The old man bestows upon him two small stones, one black and one white, which he suggests can aid him in moments of indecision. Crucially, the old man imparts a vital lesson. Life gives us signs. We must learn to see these signs. That night, sleep eludes Santiago as he grapples with his thoughts, oscillating between his sheep, the pyramids, and the treasure. He feels both apprehension and a burgeoning sense of hope. The following morning, Santiago makes a momentous decision. He sells his sheep, acquires funds, and bids farewell to his former life. Resolving to journey to Egypt, he experiences a potent blend of nervousness, excitement, and an overwhelming sense of vitality. He embarks on a sea voyage to Africa, Upon arriving in a bustling city, everything is unfamiliar. The language, the people, the very atmosphere. Feeling isolated, Santiago encounters a young man who speaks Spanish, a welcome relief. He places his trust in this individual, believing he will receive assistance. However, this trust is betrayed as the young man absconds with all of Santiago's money. Santiago is once again alone, penniless and without his sheep, succumbing to a wave of sadness. Overwhelmed and disheartened in the marketplace, Santiago grapples with the urge to weep and contemplate returning home to abandon his aspiration. However, the memory of the wise old king and the symbolic stones, coupled with the persistent vision of his dream, reignites his resolve. With newfound determination, he rises, choosing to persevere. His gaze falls upon a crystal shop perched on a hillside. He approaches, seeking employment. The shop's owner, a man weary and resigned, consents to Santiago's offer to clean the shop's glassware in exchange for sustenance. Santiago commences his work with diligence, meticulously cleaning the crystals. His earnest efforts soon revitalize the establishment. A surge of customers begins to frequent the shop, leading to an upturn in business. As days and weeks unfold, Santiago absorbs invaluable lessons. He acquires fluency in the local language, develops a strong work ethic, and cultivates profound patience. He diligently accumulates savings, yet the dream of the treasure remains an indelible presence in his heart. He recognizes that his journey is far from complete. This chapter of working in the crystal shop, strategically situated on a hill less frequented by casual passers-by, is merely a prelude. The shop owner, steeped in a life of quiet resignation, perceives his business as stagnant, believing no significant change will occur. Having long abandoned his own belief in the power of dreams, Santiago, conversely, is imbued with youthful vigor, an unwavering spirit, and an unyielding hope. He possesses an intrinsic drive to progress. His meticulous cleaning of the crystal glassware and shelves imbues the shop with a radiant glow, attracting notice from passers-by. Many are drawn in, becoming patrons and purchasing crystals. The shop owner, initially astonished, observes how Santiago's dedication directly contributes to the business's prosperity, fostering a growing sense of trust. Santiago then conceives an innovative idea: to display the crystals on a table outside the shop, making them visible to those on the street. The shop owner, inherently resistant to change and comfortable with his tranquil existence, hesitates but ultimately agrees. The table is set up, and the sunlight illuminating the crystals creates a breathtaking spectacle. The dazzling display captures the attention of passers-by, drawing an increasing number of customers and transforming the shop into a thriving hub. The shop owner, while pleased, is also perplexed. He confides in Santiago about his lifelong desire to travel, a dream he never pursued. Fearing the disruption to his life, he now resides with a bittersweet mix of contentment and regret regarding his choice to remain confined to his shop. Santiago listens, gaining a profound understanding. Many harbor dreams, yet a significant number fail to act upon them, choosing instead the perceived safety of their current circumstances. Santiago continues his diligent work over several months, amassing a considerable sum of money. He becomes proficient in the local language and acquires considerable knowledge of commerce and trade, growing both stronger and wiser. One day, he surveys his accumulated savings, realizing they are sufficient to reacquire sheep and return to Spain, resuming his former life as a shepherd. This path represents safety and ease. He ponders this prospect with deep consideration, feeling the embrace of the wind on his face. He recalls the dream of the treasure, the image of the pyramids, and the old king's counsel to pursue his personal legend. Santiago understands a crucial truth. Returning to Spain now would forever leave him with the burden of what-ifs and an enduring curiosity about the treasure. Consequently, he makes another significant decision. He will not return. Instead, he will continue his journey toward Egypt. He communicates this to the shop owner, who is not surprised. Having anticipated Santiago's departure, he observes that Santiago is unlike himself, possessing the fortitude to follow his dreams. Santiago expresses his sincere gratitude to the shop owner, who provided him with employment and a vital opportunity to restart. It is now time to press onward. Santiago departs from the shop and joins a caravan of travelers embarking on a desert crossing, ferrying goods to distant markets. The desert presents a vast expanse characterized by extreme temperatures, relentless sand, and an immense open sky. Santiago feels a sense of insignificance amidst its grandeur, yet simultaneously experiences a profound calm. He observes the celestial bodies and listens to the wind, beginning to grasp a new form of understanding, a language of signs and sensations, transcending spoken words. During their arduous journey, Santiago encounters an Englishman deeply engrossed in books and the study of alchemy, the ancient art of transforming base metals into gold. The Englishman seeks a renowned alchemist residing in the desert, and bases his entire understanding of knowledge on written texts. Santiago, while listening, also keenly observes the natural world around him, drawing wisdom from the wind, sun, and the behavior of animals. The travelers proceed at a deliberate pace, navigating the desert with caution due to ongoing tribal conflicts. Nights are spent gathered around a fire, sharing conversations, sipping tea, and gazing at the stars, imbuing Santiago with a sense of peace and the feeling of acquiring invaluable life lessons. Beyond his quest for treasure, their journey eventually leads them to a sprawling oasis, a verdant sanctuary with water and trees amidst the arid landscape, functioning as a small settlement. The travelers must remain there for a period due to the prevailing unrest, delaying their onward movement. Santiago, though eager to reach the pyramids, acknowledges the necessity of patience. While in the oasis, Santiago experiences a deeply significant encounter. He sees a young woman drawing water from a well, exuding an aura of serenity and kindness. Upon seeing her, Santiago experiences an intense emotional connection, a profound sense of love. They engage in conversation near the well, and their connection deepens over subsequent days, culminating in their falling in love. Santiago feels a sense of joy and tranquility, contemplating the possibility of remaining in the oasis, believing love might be his ultimate treasure. However, a deeper intuition tells him he must complete his quest, discover the treasure, and fulfill his personal legend. The young woman understands his resolve. She imparts a poignant message. If one is woven into the fabric of another's dream, they will return. She urges him to follow his personal legend, assuring him of her unwavering weight. Santiago is simultaneously filled with happiness and sorrow, but his journey must continue. Soon, Santiago's life will be irrevocably altered by an encounter with a mysterious figure who will further guide his path. He remains at the oasis for a period, and one day, while observing the heavens, he witnesses an unusual sight. Two hawks engaged in an aerial combat. In this seemingly natural event, Santiago perceives a profound omen, a premonition of impending danger. Closing his eyes, he vividly conjures an image of an approaching army, armed men poised to attack the oasis. Despite his fear, a strong sense of certainty compels him to inform the oasis leaders of his vision. Though initially skeptical, they heed his warning and prepare for an assault. The following day, as Santiago predicted, an army attacks. However, thanks to the preparations made, the oasis inhabitants successfully defend themselves and emerge victorious. The leaders express their profound gratitude to Santiago, bestowing upon him monetary rewards and recognizing him as the savior of many lives. This experience brings Santiago a significant realization. By following one's chosen path, one begins to perceive the subtle signs of the world and to comprehend its unspoken language. That night, a man clad in black, astride a horse, with eyes that radiate both power and tranquility, arrives to meet Santiago. This is the Alchemist. The Alchemist engages Santiago in a series of probing questions about his journey, his recurring dream, and his ultimate quest for treasure. Santiago recounts his entire story, and the Alchemist, after listening intently, offers a simple yet profound directive. Santiago must continue his journey to the pyramids and resist the temptation to remain in the oasis. He must relentlessly pursue his personal legend. The next morning, Santiago departs from the oasis, accompanied by the Alchemist. They travel together on horseback across the vast, silent desert, enduring the intense heat of the day and the biting cold of the nights. Under a sky adorned with countless stars, the Alchemist imparts crucial wisdom to Santiago, teaching him to heed the counsel of his heart and to remain attentive to the world's signs. One evening, while resting by a campfire, the Alchemist inquires about Santiago's learnings. Santiago articulates his newfound understanding. The world communicates with us, all things are interconnected, and when one's desire is genuine, the universe conspires to aid them. The Alchemist, with a smile, acknowledges Santiago's progress. As their journey continues, they encounter a band of desert men who, suspecting Santiago possesses gold, demand payment. The Alchemist calmly offers them some gold, identifying them merely as travelers, and they are permitted to proceed. Santiago experiences a flicker of fear, aware of the desert's inherent dangers, yet also feels a burgeoning strength and a sense of personal transformation. After many days, they approach the majestic pyramids, their immense structures visible in the distance. Santiago is filled with an overwhelming sense of joy, believing his dream is within reach and that the treasure is close. However, his journey is not yet complete. He is a mixture of excitement and apprehension, having endured significant hardships, financial losses, immense labor, and the arduous crossing of the desert. One day, the alchemist halts their journey and imparts a pivotal message to Santiago. He must continue the final leg of his quest alone. The alchemist explains that he cannot accompany him further, as this part of the journey is solely Santiago's. Santiago feels a pang of fear, having grown accustomed to the alchemist's steadying presence and calm demeanor. The alchemist bestows upon him some gold, urging him to be cautious, to trust his heart, and to heed the signs. Before departing, Santiago proceeds alone, walking towards the towering pyramids, now clearly visible and larger than he had ever imagined. He falls to his knees, tears of gratitude and pride streaming down his face. Having faithfully pursued his dream and journeyed so far, he begins to dig in the sand, convinced the treasure lies beneath. As night falls, he continues his labor, believing he is on the verge of discovery. Suddenly, a group of men appears, witnessing his digging. They question his actions, suspecting he is concealing gold. They rob him, strike him, and display a distinct lack of benevolence. Santiago, experiencing pain, explains his quest, revealing his dream of the treasure and his belief that it lies within the pyramids. The men erupt in laughter. One of them then shares a surprising anecdote. He too once had a dream, in which he saw a treasure buried in an old church in Spain, beneath a tree growing inside. He dismisses the dream as foolishness, stating he would never travel across the world for such a vision. Santiago listens, his heart pounding with recognition. The old church, the tree, he knows this place. It is where he once slept with his sheep and first experienced the prophetic dream. The men depart, leaving Santiago lying in the sand, injured but smiling. He now understands. The treasure is not at the pyramids. The pyramids served as a catalyst, facilitating his learning, his travels, and his personal growth. The true treasure awaits him at the old church in Spain. Santiago slowly rises, weary but filled with happiness, having grasped a profound lesson. Sometimes, the ultimate discovery lies close to home, and the journey itself molds us into the individuals we are meant to become. He retraces his steps across the desert, returns to the oasis, and then travels back across the sea to Spain. He journeys through the countryside until he reaches the familiar, dilapidated old church. Under the cover of night, he begins to dig beneath the tree. This time, his efforts are met with success. Santiago sits beside the tree, contemplating his life, from his days as a humble shepherd to the profound dream that shaped his destiny. This narrative serves as a testament to the human capacity for dreams, and the courage required to pursue one's path, even in the face of fear and uncertainty. Every step, every challenge, contributes to our growth.